She's smoke rising from behind his head as his dinner burns.
Humans, delighted welcome. This group is already a handful, and we're not even 10 seconds into the show. Look, I don't know. We're working on more audio balancing issues. People are saying that last week's Battletech was perfect, that in Warhammer 40k, Atomic is too loud and Sid and Ponder are too quiet, but it's better than normal. I don't know where we're at. I don't know how this stuff works. It's magic, I guess.
What about this show?
No, I haven't found someone to give me input about this show yet.
Here's the thing. Sid has actually put effort into his audio, so he's probably about midline. I'm just loud as fuck in this and real life. And then, of course, Pondo is just always quiet as fuck.
So the other thing that I've noticed too is I sound especially bad coming through Zoom for you, Arthur, but for other games I sound fine going through the exact same program. I'm not sure why that is. And there's nothing I can do on my end, because when I do local recording, I sound great. But when I go through Zoom and then hear myself on your stream, it sounds like...
I wonder if it's some measure of distortion from time lag or something like that. I don't know.
It just sounds very sort of... hang on, let me listen to myself.
It might be downsampling because there's 5 lines of audio happening. Plus,
I know
AP going.
I know my problem is too is because my mic's on an arm and I have to push it out of the way or my cat fucks with it. So I pull it and I don't always pull it the same distance away from my face.
Oh, trust me, when I'm playing RimWorld and my camera's not on and I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna bend over here real quick, maybe turn it sideways like this. You know, maybe do some stretching real quick, and people are like, your audio's all over the place. And I'm like, it's not my audio, it's me. I'm all over the place. I'm gonna lie down on my bench couch now and talk up towards the microphone. Let's see how that sounds.
It wouldn't be a
your
problem.
audio sounds fine to me, Arthur. I think your microphone sounds great, to be honest with you.
Thanks.
I don't hear, maybe it might be like OBS or whatever, but through Zoom, it sounds really good no matter where you are. But then, I don't know, I've watched a couple of your Fate Stay Go, I don't know what it's called, streams.
Grand Order, yeah. Don't worry about it.
And then sometimes you sound a little quiet when you talk away from the microphone.
It's because I'm playing a phone game and my whole face is pointed downwards toward the phone. I would have to play like this.
Because everybody would always be the first 5 minutes of every RimWorld stream now are just can you hear me? Is this good? This good? Okay. Because it's just 20 people complaining about audio.
Why don't you actually capture your phone stuff on the there's an app you can get for playing your phone through your computer, and you can actually use a mouse and keyboard.
I don't know about that. I have a mirroring app called Reflector that allows me to mirror my phone.
Dolphin or something like that.
Yeah, I don't want to emulate my phone. That sounds complicated.
Well, that's also usually it's 2 different things of beta though too, isn't it? For this sort of stuff, because it's not like you couldn't just take that and then fuck off and go somewhere with it or whatever.
I will say this: games that I play on my phone that get upshipped to 4K on my PC look really good on my PC. I'm like, damn, Fate Grand Order looks really good on a big ass screen.
It's because they make it for if they're doing it for Apple, because they got the Retina screens. Even though the screens are this big, it's it's got a 2100 by whatever resolution.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
I like it. All right, let's start those intros. I guess for my intro, I should say I have another new show starting up soon. So one of my cast members for Pokemon is going on hiatus for a while. So Cottontail had asked me to start a cult. So we're starting the board game cult Monday nights. Guests from the audience will join us. Now, normally my requirements for people joining my show are quite high, monumentally high. This time, all you need is a microphone, a camera, and a basic living area where people don't walk around in the background and kids and loud animals don't bother you all the time.
Wait, it's a board game show?
Yes, we're just going to play board games.
Yeah, using Board Game Simulator, whatever.
Tabletop simulator. You know, if you want to know more about it, sorry, I'm pulling myself together. If you want to know more about it, check on Discord in the announcement sections and follow it to #BoardGameCult, where you can sign yourself up
I'm
What
gonna
day is
do
it?
that right
Monday
now.
night, 8 Eastern.
Man, I miss doing that board game shit. We used to do a board game show too, and it was a hell of a good time.
Yeah.
Board games with Bearded Bros.
Yep, it was real good. But I found that whenever we brought someone new in, it made it very hard to, like, because we had a pace, I would say. Like we had like normal regular hosts, and we had a good pace. But the moment we brought someone new into the game, it was very difficult to establish that pace still. And with role playing games, it's not so bad, but with board games, it was.
Board games, if you don't know the rules and everyone else does, it's like.
Or if you're, I mean, there's the pace between two different games can be so vastly different that you get used to doing it. Really, if you sit there and play hours of Sheriff of Nottingham, which is a pretty simple game, and then you go and play something pretty complicated, you try to take that same energy, it's just going to fucking crash.
Every week we would play a brand new game, and only one of us or two of us would learn the rules, and the other people would just play it. But we were so good at just like, going with the flow in a lot of cases. It was
I think I played Pandemic with you guys, and I slowed you guys down so much because I'd never played before.
Oh, it's all right. It's still though, the board game, like Tabletop Simulator has its pros and cons. So, yeah. Good luck, Arthur. That's all I'll say.
Just don't make the Kool-Aid taste like cardboard, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Cardboard Kool-Aid. It's a board game podcast name, potentially.
Cardboard Kool-Aid. I don't mind it.
All right. I guess the other thing is that you may or may not know that I have a Tuesday night Dungeons and Dragons games where artists live draw what's happening in the game. And
wait, they're playing D&D now? I thought they were playing Stars Without Number.
No, we switched back to D&D. We're doing it for about 10 weeks now. This week's art, I think, was at that premium level. We're in the Underdark. We're doing some drow shit. We got Driders. Someone got the Widowmaker goggles of night for
do
dark
you
vision.
aggregate that anywhere, like per session?
What do you mean?
Like all the art that all the artists do? Do you
Nope.
aggregate that in a place?
I let the artists do it's their art. All of it belongs to them. The stream is not monetized.
Yeah,
I have no claim over any of that stuff.
If like you could go through like session 1 and see like the pictures that were drawn and like who they were by.
So I asked them to all sign their art, and just like this show, it rolls through fan art. So every week, new art enters the roll, and the roll gets longer and longer as you can see the old art.
Plus, you should just make an Imgur gallery.
There's
links to all the artists.
There've been times, Dave, where he's used us as an example, where he told them to stop bitching about XP. He's like, my Wednesday night group hasn't got XP in like 12 weeks.
Last night they told me I was cheating on them with you guys.
Not
being so
jealous. Yeah. Me and Connor was in the chat, and like me and Connor were in the chat when AP was playing Outer Worlds, and we were kind of roasting him back and forth.
Yeah.
Good times.
One of the artists, Mick Comiker, has decided that he's gonna create a new character every week and add new world lore. And this week his character was a Twitch streamer who used a Mirror of Scrying to send his adventures back home, where people would pay a subscription service to watch him kill monsters.
They could just use Twitch Prime.
It's Witch Prime.
Oh, Witch Prime.
Gotta get hooked up on that Witch Prime stuff.
That's right.
Witch Scrying. Yeah.
Spootnik, you gotta click the link in Board Games Cult, fill out the form.
I did.
Okay, I just saw you said something there, and I want to make sure you knew about that link.
I filled out the form.
Okay, I haven't seen.
I clicked a bunch of games, and then I was like, you know what? Eddie and all surprised me on game, whatever. I play a lot of board games.
You know, I haven't, but apparently Pondo and Cotton play board games all the time. So
I play a lot.
I like playing Lords of Waterdeep. That's my go-to board game. I feel like it's easy to do.
That's good. The Rage game is good too. The Viking game. Viking
Blood Rage?
I'll tell you what, the one that I want to start off with is Twilight Imperium 4th edition.
Yes.
Holy
Split it up into 2 or 3
if you're gonna
sessions.
play that,
God, I want to play that game.
Yeah, I want to
If-
play
if
it too. Like a 6-hour LARP where you're like, so let's
No,
talk
it's
about
longer than
creating a
6
neutral
hours, dude.
border between the two of us. I'll give you my trash, you give me your
Oh.
trash, and we'll turn that into money. And then
No,
let's go
you-
kill the lion people.
you're never gonna get through that game if you play that, man. You just never.
Hey, look, I am my own channel's champion at diplomacy. I have won every match of diplomacy that I've played.
Welcome to the newest running show on the AP Gaming Network. This one board game.
One board game. We had that one board game. Do you know what it was for us? It was what's Robinson Crusoe.
I don't know what that is.
Y'all play, that took a long time for you guys to play?
No, we just kept coming back to it to do
Oh,
different
I see,
scenarios
I
and
see.
That's
stuff.
a great game.
Dead of
It's
Winter,
real good.
I have the physical version of that game.
Betrayal at House on
So
the
do
Hill.
I. Yeah.
Betrayal at House on the
we-
Hill and Arkham Horror are both like top.
I
See, the
like-
thing is that,
I
like,
actually prefer Betrayal at Baldur's Gate.
we did that
Oh
too.
shit, that's a
We've done that.
game.
Yes, it
Yes.
is. It's pretty interesting, but I got to tell you, the thing about the Betrayal games is that a full third of the scenarios are straight up bullshit. They're just not
Yes.
fun to play, and like the other 2/3 are great.
Yeah. It all just it's all luck of the draw what happens after the haunt.
What you could
Yeah,
do
every single time we played that game, I ended up being the bad guy, like
If the-
without fail. Like
if the bullshit is like a card or like a condition on a card, just like take the cards that are bullshit, chuck them out, use the ones that
No,
are
it's
good.
like a scenario in a
Yeah.
book.
So the problem is that
Starts
it's
like this.
who
this is
reveals
the
the haunt, what
Yeah.
items are currently in play, what room you were in.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
not like on a card. It's like
Yeah, it's a
table.
chart.
It's a chart in a book, and depending on what
And the bad guy is
are the
picked
haunts.
based on like 6 different options.
I
Yeah,
remember
So-
we played that once and I became like an elder dragon.
Wow.
Yeah, for me, the first time we played it was I took the little girl and I was just being real fucking stupid with her, like in role playing or whatever. Ended up being the bad guy. Ended up being a walking death god or something, and I had to eat everyone in the house. So it was a weird game. It was a weird game. I won, but that's still besides the point. Weird fucking game. Oh, what was the other good board games that I did? Yeah, Rage was really, really fun. We had a lot of fun with that
I played
one.
the real version of that over at Buddy's house. It took so long to set up, but it was so fun.
It was so good, yeah. There's a minion setting game which is set in Iceland. Oh, what the fuck was that game called? Where you Seven Wonders. You should, if you have enough people, Arthur, you should definitely play Seven Wonders on the
Seven
stream.
Wonders is a good game.
Seven
Think
Wonders
about
is
it.
real fucking good.
The only thing I
Um,
remember about Betrayal at House of the Hills becoming a dragon and making Trogdor jokes the rest of the night. So I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. It came down to me and the last player, and they knew the game better than me, so they won.
Spirit Island is a really good game. It's a co-op game, kind of like Pandemic, but you play as spirits that protect the natives of the island, defending against invaders coming in.
mhm, mhm.
It's really, really fucking good. It can be as simple or as complex as you want it to be. It's really good. My wife and I have a game night every Thursday, and we'll be playing that on Thursday. I just got it like a few days ago.
I didn't get to
Yeah,
grow up
Spirit
playing a lot
Island's
of board
good.
games because I live in Alabama and there was fucking nobody around. Most of the games I know now I've watched just by either like playing with other people or through like TTS.
Blood Rage is really good. It's like a asymmetrical sort of war game where the apocalypse is happening and you're leveling up your clan and trying to kill other clans. It's really good. Look up Blood Rage. It's super fun.
Yeah.
Oh, Champions of Midgard. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
That one's real fucking good too.
That's
All
Like-
right, guys, we gotta get back to the intro. Been a solid
This is
10
the
minutes of
intro.
board games.
I mean, it's all one subject every week always gets.
I know.
As soon as you mention the word board games, like
Let's continue the board game discussion next week. Absolutely. I have the list of board games that we're going to play already, and it's like 20 board games long. But I will keep what you've said so far in mind, and next week, let's talk more about it. Meanwhile, let's start with Spootnik. What do you got going on?
Hey, so I've been reading 20th Century Boys.
Yes, my man.
It's really fucking good.
That's what I'm telling you. It's really good.
I've gotten through the first 2 volumes. It's funny because my wife, like, every other day, she's like, "You got a new book in the mail?" I'm like, "Yeah, but it was only $12. It's fine." So I've gotten through the first 2 volumes. The third one's coming tomorrow. It's really good. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of almost like the way Stephen King writes books. It almost reminds me of It, where it's like going back and forth from adult to children, and like what they learn in their childhood affects what they do as adults, and it's all tied together really, really well. And like there are moments where I'm like, oh shit, like wow, that's awesome. So yeah, that was a good recommendation. I really, really like it. And I also have been playing what is it? Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
Oh my god!
You're playing the Fire Emblem dance game?
It's not a dance game. It's like a Shin Megami Tensei game.
I don't know what that means. I don't know anything about
this. It's like Persona, but
I know exactly what that game is. Yeah. So you play as the basic is you play as a dude who gets pulled into the
like Japan
what do they call
Idol world.
The idol, the idol scene, and then you get sucked into another world where they've got Shin Megami Tensei creatures.
Yeah.
And like the Persona creatures, and because the Persona creatures get used in like tons of different games and stuff. That's what Shin Megami Tensei is. Right. So, it's fucking weird.
It's weird, but it's weird. I mean, I enjoy the combat. Unlike the Persona games where you can swap around to a bunch of different personas, you actually have to like grow and level up the one sort of persona that you have, and the personas that you have are Fire Emblem characters. I think they're from Fire Emblems. What was the last one on 3DS?
Awakening?
Yeah, I think they're from Awakening.
Awakening was second last. The latest one was Fates.
I don't
think that. Yeah, they don't have any of the fake creatures in there.
Yeah. But you basically level them up, and as they level up, they earn skills. But then they'll get to a certain point where they can't level up anymore. So then you have to send them to training so they can unlock more skills.
You got to send them to the 3 houses so the blue-haired person can teach
you
them
get like
stuff.
a +1 to a skill, which makes it stronger. Sometimes you get a brand new one, and they're based on like either elements or like sword or lance or whatever. And if you hit the enemy's weakness, it causes a chain attack. It's really good. The story's kind of, I mean, I'm not too far into it. I'm only a few hours into it. The story's kind of fun and light, it has pretty decent humor in it. As humorous as something as weeby as this game can get, I guess.
Wow, that's a real slander against anime games.
I mean, it's pretty anime.
It's pretty weeby.
It's probably like the most anime game I've ever played, I think. But it's fun. I mean, I enjoy it. It's not too much for me. And I don't really like that kind of stuff, but it's fun. I think it's really good. I agree with Big Food Stuffs, Arthur. You need to play it. It's fun. I think you would love it. I really do. I think it's great.
I'll think about it. I got a whole list of other things to do first.
Sure.
I'll tell you what's next on my list is to start a recorded playthrough of Jagged Alliance 2.
What?
Yeah.
Why? That is so far back in the...
I know, but you know what? I keep coming back to it. I've never actually beaten it, but I've killed so many people wearing red shirts in that game.
Somebody was telling me that there's apparently now like romance DLC for Three Kingdoms. or what was the newest Total War game? That you were
Yeah,
all
Three
about?
Kingdoms.
Yeah. I was like, aren't the
I know
fucking
about
numbers-
romance, but let me tell you something.
Well, it was something.
I was really good at that game. And not in a like, I cheated to beat the AI. I was like legitimately actually pretty good at that game.
I wonder if they toned down the AI for that game just because it kept bottlenecking itself with that shitty.
I saw something about Lubu player in that game, and he was playing on like the hardest of absolutely everything, and it's apparently. Like,
and he speed runs the game. Yeah, we play. That guy plays in the same way that I do. You auto resolve as many battles as you can, unless you're gonna lose, and then you fight as hard as fucking possible to win if it's close.
Total War's been like that. Was it Napoleon? What's the one that added ships? It's pretty much when that kind of took over. I think I want to say it was maybe Napoleon.
That's how I got my start, by the way. I was a tester for the Total War games.
Total War 2 Shogun. Total War Shogun 2. That's how I started Total War. And that was a great game.
I don't want to think about
the Shogun
time I
was
spent.
really good.
How much time I spent in Rome, and then what was it?
I watched
the second medieval one.
50 episodes of Critical Role, 1 through 50, playing the Shogun 2 Railroad expansion. I can still remember being like, oh, railroads are so cool, and listening to Matt Mercer describe some place called Cragshammer, and I'm like, I don't know, why is everyone so into this Critical Role thing? And by the time I was Total War Shogun 2 Railroad expansion, I was like, I'm invested. I can't go anywhere. I am Tiberius Stormwind from Draconia.
So that's what I've been up to, and some writing stuff.
Dave, what do you got?
Hello.
Yeah.
I'm seriously considering getting Temtem. Like,
I don't know what that is.
So very seriously considering getting Temtem.
The Pokemon that's not Pokemon.
Pokemon that's not Pokemon. It just came out in early access, and apparently they have 160 creatures in it. And I'm just like,
it for me.
Temtem.
Temtem.
Yep, it's like a hardcore
MMO Pokemon. Oh wow,
Yep.
It's got like some weird cel shaded anime style going on here.
Yep. It's made by my boys back at Humble. Well, they produced it or whatever. So it's made by some good people. And what can I say? It's like it's hitting all the things that I want out of, like, because apparently the Pokemon, like the actual Pokemon mechanics in it are like super hardcore in that game too. They're actually going to build like Nuzlocke into the game and all that shit, and the actual fights are actually really difficult. And I don't know, it looks cool. It looks really good, and everything is like a 2v2 battle. Like everything in the game, like there's no solo. There's no 1 versus 1 battles in the game, apparently. Looks real good. Every time I see someone playing it, they're getting their fucking ass whooped by the AI in the game, which is really good sign because Pokemon has just been so baby for me the entire time. It's just like, yeah.
Is it just on PC or?
Well, I mean, it looks like it's just on PC, but yeah. The creatures look cool, but they also look very they look very bland. You know what I mean? Like Pokemon looks really good because you can sort of like, maybe it's been around for so long so you can identify them easier. But the creatures in this just kind of look like almost to the point where, you know how Pokemon is identifiable, but then Digimon is like, oh yeah, okay, whatever. It's kind of like the Digimon style.
I'm looking at it, and I see the art style they're going for, but it looks almost kind of like washed out, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like everything kind of blends into one another.
Apparently, it's going to release when it releases. It's going to be on Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Steam.
Oh, so yeah.
And apparently, the early access has like 20 hours of content in it or something like that. So I'm considering it. But I don't know. Yeah.
Listen,
it seems
this is a really big problem. I might buy this immediately after the show and start playing it. I'm like, multiplayer Pokemon, is this finally time? At first I was like, oh, this is going to be some straight up bullshit. I'm not in love with the art style, but as I kept reading it, I was like, multiplayer. Multiplayer. This is what I want. I want a multiplayer Pokemon game. When
you asked what it was, I'm like, I don't give a fuck about Pokemon. And I know what the fuck Tim is. How the fuck do you not know?
Yeah. I've never heard of it.
I'm not big on gaming news.
Yeah.
I'll probably look at it again when it launches because I don't do early access games.
I get most of my gaming news from Alpha. And even then, it's mostly just reading the comment section of each video rather than fully watching it. Someone will break it down and like 20 people will troll each other.
Yeah, I'm considering getting it because I came into a really big windfall selling a CSGO knife. So it doesn't cost me anything to jump in on this thing.
Oh, yeah, you got like a year's worth of games from one night.
Yeah. Well, more than that, like I've got because the Polish zlotys changes the price of games in a lot of cases, so I can buy games for a lot cheaper. I got like 500. It was like $500. That's what I sold the skin for.
It looks interesting that you can have like more than one monster out at a time.
It's always 2v2 battles, so you always but there's also like in the alpha, apparently there's like a hardcore reliance on like breeding. Like you have to like breed for eggs to get like good moves and good stats and shit, which is really, really cool. Like,
well, I'm an EV trainer. I'm already used to doing that shit.
Yeah, I know. They had that in Pokemon, and I never really I never felt the need to do it because the games were so fucking easy.
Let me ask you a question,
I mean? Like,
Dave. 2 words. If you understand what I'm saying, you know where I'm coming from. Jade Cocoon.
Yep. The idea that you have fine atoms and shit to like make it easier to breed. Yeah.
I mean, you capture the monsters and then you forcibly meld them together into a super monster. And every time you do, your wife slowly dies in front of your eyes. Jade Cocoon was fucking hardcore back in the day, making little kids weep openly.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't have enough time to sit down and really enjoy a game like this, though, which is kind of like it kind of goes against me. Like I started playing a little bit of Moonlighter. That game is good too, but it's just kind of like oh cool, yeah. I get a little greedy and then I lose my run and I'm just like,
you lose all hope. Yeah, you're just like, oh fuck.
That's a good one. That's another one that's really good on the Switch because it is a game that you can just pick up, do a quick dungeon run, pop in some upgrades, and then put it down. You know.
I can't get to the Steam store page right now, so I can't buy Temtem.
Yeah,
but we had as soon as I can.
So we had one of our games get picked up by Markiplier the other day. It's called Connection Haunted. Basically, it's a game where you go into a haunted first-person shooter server.
What?
Yeah.
This can't be real.
Is that the one where like...
What is it called again?
Oh,
it's called Connection Haunted.
There's like a leaderboard and like someone on the leaderboard is a monster?
No. It's like, so you're in an empty server just playing capture the flag by yourself and then like random creatures start joining the server and fucking up your time and shit. It's pretty cool.
Wait,
why would you play capture the flag solo? Doesn't that defeat the purpose?
Well, I mean, it's kind of like I'm just gonna sit in this server till someone shows up, and then people start showing up.
What platform is that on?
It's on PC, but we're moving it over to Switch as well. So
is it on Steam?
Yeah, it's on, not on Steam. It's on itch right now.
Oh, okay.
All right, maybe. I just bought Temtem, so I'll let you know.
You just bought it. Okay. You know what? Yeah. If you're going in, because it's multiplayer, we can play together.
I'm going in.
I'll go in. I'll go in right now. I'll buy it. It's only 100 zlotys. So
tomorrow, I gotta do some prep for my BattleTech show, the other BattleTech show, and then I'll play that tomorrow afternoon. Dave, you got anything else going on besides buying Temtem with me in our suicide pact?
Well, I mean, not really. I mean, I'm basically just still doing the adult stuff, and that's still going good. We're starting production on the 3rd game now, and yeah, everything's happening. You know, it's a crazy time to be alive. Yeah.
You know, speaking of someone who's alive, let's talk to Atomic.
Oh God, man! I woke up this morning. I was like, still alive. Fuck. I felt terrible yesterday. Yeah. So I've been fighting with 3D printer that you may or may not be able to see. My ISCP dongle, whatever. Anyway, the board's fried, so I have to upload a bootloader to something without an Arduino. That I'm just like, fuck it. I'm gonna have to buy an Arduino because.
Is it weird that I understood everything you just said?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. 3D printing's further. I mean, that or, engineering, whatever. But yeah, no, I was like, because I've had the dongle for a while. I used it for some project a while back for something else. I think it was maybe I built a control panel for somebody, and whatever. And I was like, oh, it's in a box, but it was in a container, right? I'm like, oh, it'll be fine. Dead. It couldn't get power to it. Like I had a little power LED, nothing. Tried it on like 4 different PCs, nothing. Tried to broke out the fucking Jesus Christ. Why can't I think of what it's called right now? Anyway, something's broken through it. It wasn't just voltage. I can't get anything through it. So I'm like, well, fuck. So I got all the parts I need to get the self-leveling for my printer working, except for the thing I need to actually put the bootlet, because I checked and the board I have is just like barely within a window of not having one.
Did you see that weird update that they have for the for 3D printers now, where you can print like the printer nozzle will actually move up and down rather than like on like a flat plane all the time? So you can actually get like curved surfaces in your 3D prints and shit.
Oh, I mean, they've been messing around with stuff like that for years. It's just that it was always, it's one of those things of it exists, but it's just super expensive.
No. This is a modification you can make to just about any 3D printer out there.
No,
like
I haven't seen a modification for it.
It's like a custom piece of, it's a custom script that measures the depth between the top of the nozzle and the top of the board or whatever you're building, and it like it basically like lifts the bottom of the board up and down when you're moving things. Yeah, so. Well, I'll see if I can find it.
Yeah, a lot of at least the consumer ones have flat. You can't. I mean, they have some movement, but not to the same extent as the print head, obviously. But yeah, no. So my printer's been out of action for a while, and I'm sitting here like, because I'm tired of having to fiddle with self-leveling or leveling the bed and all that other bullshit. So I finally got all the parts I needed, except the one piece that I was like, oh, I've already got that one. It is now broken. So all the stuff I had to buy, I have it. The one thing I already had, I now have to buy a new one. So I'm like, fuck. So
yeah, I posted it in Zoom.
All right, I'll look at that. Look at that after. Yeah. So that, and I'm pretty sure I'm just going to pick up a resin printer here soon anyway, which is just going to make this one completely obsolete for what I want to do anyway. So yay, but whatever. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And then other than that, I've dipped back into the ED pool and then been incredibly disappointed because the changes they made to the way commodities work suck. So I'm not happy with it. So that's kind of put a dampener on that whole thing. Well, that's pretty much been my week. That and hoping I don't get sick from other people in the house. So no, not 3D printing firearm stuff.
Drumurboy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just been making more music. Jammed with a buddy for the first time in a few months, and that was really cool because it's been the winter for like the last 3 months, and I haven't been out of the house very much. So it was fun to actually like jam with a person in real life. Because when you do creative stuff for a living, and you're the only one doing it, and you have to like drum up some sort of creative energy every day, sometimes it just doesn't happen. And it's way easier with like a buddy, where you can just be like, you play guitar, I'll play the drums, and then we just jam on something, and then something cool happens and we record it. It's pretty cool. Also,
so chat, go on, please. Continue.
For the past, like, I guess it was like 8 days, we had something called a polar vortex happening, where
that sounds like a Tom Hanks movie.
Yeah, the Polar Vortex Express.
It's more like day after tomorrow. Shit.
Yeah. But it's been negative 35 Celsius on average, and the lowest it went was like minus 48 Celsius.
Damn.
Yeah, it was a fucking.
Yeah, that's what Montreal back in like what, late 90s, early 2000s, like shut the whole region down for a while.
Yeah, there was an air current coming down from the Arctic Circle, and then another air current coming from the south, going along the eastern part of the states and like up through Canada, and that kept polar air over top of Alberta and Saskatchewan and Manitoba for like a good week, and just kind of like held it there and swirled it around a bunch. So that's finally gone. So I can go to the store now. But yeah, other than that, just music. I finished a 3D render yesterday for the Far Verona tune, so that's actually going to go up in stores. It's uploading now to Spotify. I don't know when it'll be up on there, but it's already up on the Bandcamp. But yeah, other than that, just been watching American God season 2, because I'm finally getting around to that.
I do need to watch that.
Season 2 it's getting interesting. Like it's interesting, but like it's a little bit more, I don't know, current political climate stuff this season.
Hey, Poppy.
Yeah. Yeah, they go like really hard. Like they even like name drop the alt-right and like Black Lives Matter, that kind of stuff. So
Let me tell you something. You want to talk about current political matter stuff? I am sickened that in the United States Senate, right now, senators are forced to choose between drinking water or milk. Only 2 options allowed within the Senate chamber. Ridiculous. This is a mockery of democracy.
Can they drink them both mixed together?
No.
In one glass?
You can only pick one or the other.
is that their voting?
My water milk.
Is that their voting system on impeachment? Water or milk?
I wish.
Water or milk, make your choice.
Yeah.
So what? They're not allowed to have a cup of coffee or
Nope.
anything like
Water
that?
or milk. That's it.
Why
Only
not?
thing allowed on the
Why?
Senate floor.
Oh my god, that's great.
Why?
I don't know. I don't
Milk
set the
for white
rules.
Russians.
I don't know,
Water,
man.
milk, or blood. They're the only 3 drinks you're allowed to have
Nope.
in the U.S. Senate.
No blood.
The funny thing is both the water and the milk are provided by McDonald's on the president's orders.
Wow. What a right curve there. Whoosh.
Wait, was that a joke because of the thing he did with those athletes where they came over and he
It's
gave them
not
Yeah.
one
McDonald's or
time,
something?
Dave. It's many, many times.
Did
did
you
it
know
with-
there's
what?
there's a subreddit called White House Dinners, and it's fucking hysterical. It's just
Yeah.
like shitty.
He has a
food.
5-star
It's
hotel in DC with a
fantastic.
full kitchen, and he still serves people McDonald's.
McDonald's
Did
and
Kings,
he did Wendy's
did
one time.
Kingsman like?
Yes,
Hang on, is it- is
that
this-
Kingsman scene was making fun of how Donald Trump hosts dinners.
Okay, so
With the
is
big
Donald Trump
pot
the only
of
person to do
McDonald's
it?
special sauce is
Yes.
real.
Oh,
It's
those little-
real.
The little silver fucking gravy boats of McDonald's sauce.
Right, sweet and sour
Oh,
sauce, just in a fucking
Holy shit.
boat.
People have been making fun of him for that.
Hang on, what's the subreddit called? White House.
White House dinners.
It's amazing.
Oh, fuck.
Okay. Look, listen, I was hoping that with the water and milk thing, I could get a quick joke in and then dodge everything else.
Oh,
Not with the political system in the U.S. the way it is. We got to make fun of it.
You got anything else, Drumurboy?
See, that's what you guys don't get. That's why Florida Man exists, is because when something goes wrong, they just deploy the meth, and then right,
Listen,
it's a distraction, just
Listen,
tactical
Florida
distraction.
Man exists in every state of the United
Oh, I
States.
know.
It's just that only in Florida are they allowed to report on crimes in the way that they do.
yeah,
That
South
kind of weird
Carolina
shit
Man-
happens everywhere.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just
South
only
Carolina
if
Man is a lot like Florida Man, but even more racist.
Well, I think the biggest thing is just like, like I used to live, much like a typical GM, we're proud citizens of
Mountainers.
Meth Mountainers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I talked to his dad and I'm like, I said, Meth Mountain. He's like, oh, I know where Meth Mountain is, because his dad's on one of his streams. And it's, yes. But we still, it's like, I don't know if it's because, like you say, it's just not very reported, or if it's because they always die in the meth, like, cook explosion. is why we never hear about Alabama Man, at least in Northern Alabama anyway, where they cook all the meth.
They just don't have the same reporting laws. Only Florida has that loose police reporting.
Mm.
And they can scapegoat Florida Man. It's more of a symbol. He's like Batman.
Matt Gaetz is Florida Man. He's every Florida Man article all at once.
Yeah. Other than that, just really excited for Doom Eternal because the preview stuff is starting to roll out about that, and I'm
I don't understand. You were supposed to rip and tear until it was done, and apparently it didn't happen.
Well, there's more things. There's angels to kill now.
More ripping and more tearing. I mean, what a sham.
Power swords and shit.
Yeah, dude. Apparently the power sword is like you don't get that right away. It's an achievement. Like you have to earn that shit, which is really cool. Like it looks like Doom 2016 was like, here are the core mechanics of how to shoot things, and Doom Eternal's like, here are the core mechanics with 16 systems on top of them.
Well,
have fun.
The first one was very much like, all right, it's about time we, really had the Doom game in a long time. A lot of people hopped onto it or whatever. And it's like, all right, now you've had kindergarten. Fuck you. And it's just, they've added so much more, but I'm waiting for that soundtrack. I want that soundtrack.
I
still listen to the first soundtrack. I want the new
There's 30 minutes of new music from Doom Eternal on YouTube.
I want the heavy metal choir.
That's the thing about Doom that really slowed me down was the fact that in order to recover health, you had to punch people to death. I tried shooting my way through that game, and it took me a really long time to deprogram. It was tough. It was really tough. I just wanted to shoot people in the head a lot.
Yeah, this one, like, you can do glory kills for ammo, chainsaw kills for extra health, and now there's a new flamethrower, like, shoulder attachment that you can, like, flamethrower dudes, set them on fire, and if you kill them while they're on fire, they drop armor. So you can, like, you can replenish all your stuff through killing.
Not only do I like flamethrowers, but shoulder mounted flamethrower, I'm in.
Yeah. It looks great. I'm into it. I really want to go play that, but it's not March yet. So
yeah. At least Cyberpunk got delayed, so I don't know. I'm like, oh, great, okay.
Final Fantasy also got delayed, which means I leave my PlayStation 4 to collect dust in a corner.
Yeah, I think literally everything got delayed over the last week.
Which would be fine, except that all of those games, they're not like paying the developers more. They're just making them crunch time for longer and longer and massive amounts of time.
Yes.
They're not like, we're going to give you guys 40-hour work weeks, and we'll just be very calm.
The only people getting raises are the managers that screwed you over in the first place.
They're not real people. Make me games for my entertainment.
Listen, it's really hard talking about manga with my artist group, because I'm like, yeah, I blew through that chapter in about 30, 40 seconds. It was real good, though. Some of that art was very premium, and they were like, I bet that they worked for like 30 days to create everything that was in that chapter. And I was like, yep, whole 30 seconds. Really slowed me down on my time budget.
Yeah, I spent 4 days reading, I think, 26 chapters of 20th Century Boy. And that shit probably came out over the length of like a year.
That's fucking creative shit in a nutshell. Like, I can work for 2 weeks on a thing that takes 3 minutes and 30 seconds to consume. Like,
so I'm right now with the Horus Heresy books. It's like they're like the getting to the end of the series. It's like everyone's like, they're like 12, 16 hours long, but I just chain it in like 2 sessions. I'm like, all right, now I get to wait 4 months, 5 months, 6, however long. Well, I know a lot of work goes into it, but I'm like many people, I just consume.
Well, I mean, if you're like me and you're caught up on all the mangas you want to read, then you wait a month for a new one to come out. You appreciate that shit more.
Yeah.
I read all of the shitty Otome games.
I mean, I appreciate all the work to go into it, but it's still just like, it's like, oh, it's like it gets to the end. I'm like, oh, it's like, wow, that was great. And then I get sad because it's done. I gotta, you can wait another 6 months.
Oh, that reminds, this consumption thing just reminded me of like a really cringy line from American God Season 2. They're like, you have to go find, one of the new gods is called Media. And Media ends up not wanting to join the war, so they kill her and create new Media.
Mm-hmm.
That was a hell of a line, but Yeah. Crispin Glover in that is creepy as fuck and great.
Listen, I don't know how much that follows the books, but the books got real fucking weird towards the end.
It probably falls pretty close because like it's in the real weird shit now.
Yeah.
Like a main character just died.
Yep. Better get used to that.
But Ian McShane and Crispin Glover as like Ian McShane as Odin and Crispin Glover as Mr. World, they're both really good.
I have to be honest. After watching the original Thor, I will never see anyone as Odin beyond Anthony Hopkins. It's impossible. When he is like on the verge of crying when he banishes Thor, and then he kisses the hammer and sends it back after him with the curse on it. I was like, God damn, this is Odin right here.
Do you follow Anthony Hopkins on Twitter?
I do not.
He's a riot. You should.
But when Loki is pretending to be him in Thor 3, and he's just like, oh, fuck. Oh, my God. Anthony Hopkins pretending to be Loki is just so good.
Yeah, man.
Oh, boy.
Man.
Oh, yeah. What's his face passed away? Oh, God. Why can't I?
The Monty Python actor.
Terry Jones.
Terry Jones, yeah. I was like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
It's like of all like the it's like there's so many shitty people. It's like always the ones who've actually done a lot of good. You're always the ones. It's like fuck, man.
John Cleese's tweet about it was pretty funny. It was pretty heartfelt, and then at the end he's like, "Two down, 4 to go."
Well, yeah. I mean, he's also that funeral. What was it?
Yeah, Terry.
It was he's like, yeah, first one at a funeral to say fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I thought, God, why can I not think of any of their fucking names? One of them said something really, it's like, it's like really should only be sad if you knew him personally. It's like, other than that, like you always have the great memory, all the funny stuff they said over the years. I'm like, fair point.
I think Eric Idle said that on Twitter.
I think it was Eric Idle, yeah. Turbo, always turbo names. But, yeah.
Let's play some fucking D&D, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, we ready to do this?
Yeah.
Not our longest.
We just got a fucking demon horse and we're going through the demon lands. So.
Well, the problem is you just got a demon horse, but you're still inside. You're just on the northern neighborhoods of the capital of the anti-demon lands.
I mean,
so I don't know how you want to resolve that.
It's a fiend. It also flies. What are they gonna do? Stop me?
Well, I don't know if you know about this crazy invention called an arrow.
We tie him to an arrow and shoot him there?
They've tried many a times with the arrows. They never seem to work.
Finley turns into a caterpillar and gets shot on an arrow through the air, then turns into a normal thing.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. I put him on the hammer and then I throw the hammer.
Yeah.
Surprise bear. Bear with the hammer. One
of Japan's most famous archery stories is about an archer who defeated a caterpillar that wrapped itself around a mountain 7.5 times. But caterpillars and archery have a long history together.
There we go.
I mean, as long as Finley consents to it, I will throw that hammer as hard as possible.
That would be one of the moves. And if we ever made if New Game Plus ever got one of those Hyrule or was it Dynasty Warriors games, that would absolutely be a move.
Yeah.
Spootnik making a shillelagh that's like 30 feet long and then just whoosh.
Yeah. Or like it'd be one of Agron's special moves, like a little caterpillar comes onto his hammer and he chucks it and then turns into a bear and eats a whole crowd of people.
Now, when you've thrown your hammer, if you haven't said it's hammer time, I'm actually pretty disappointed.
He actually has never said it's hammer time.
I've had to refrain because the first time I got it, I was like, it's like I told myself, it's like you make one hammer time joke, you must hit yourself in the balls. I mean, I'm sure my cat will be along shortly to do it for me.
But that's such good TV. Not only you saying that, but then you hitting.
It's also why TV is dying, is because they make hammer time jokes and things like it.
What you need to do is become a scholar of MC Hammer lyrics and use everything but that.
I wouldn't say I'm a scholar of MC Hammer lyrics, but I would say that you should take heed because I'm a lyrical poet. Miami is on the scene, just in case you didn't know it. That's my town. That created all the bass sound.
You should do a spoken word cover album. AP.
I would love to, actually.
And if you throw your hammer and you roll a 1, you have to say, "Please, hammer, don't hurt him."
Oh my god. All right, so what's the plan here? You've got Haig, who is now dressed like little Joffrey up in here. Riverin, a Lightfoot halfling, wearing basically fluffy noble princess dresses. First man out the door is Agrim Ironfury riding a plane-shifting Antugatas, a hell horse that eats the flesh of the innocent. And it was too big to fit out the door, so it did a quick ethereal plane shift. While you were there, you briefly noticed you were being watched. Then you flashed back into reality on the other side of the door.
I think in between the doorway and the outside, there was a quick Twitch Prime joke in there somewhere. Yep.
What do you guys want to do? I mean, Kelly, Taka, Finley, you've got a giant horse butt between you and your cart right now.
I didn't even think about it.
Blocking the doorway.
We should
Giant
probably
flaming rump.
Should probably get River in some like stature appropriate clothing before we leave.
That's right. She's a halfling.
Well,
Yep.
I thought it still fit her.
Oh, it still fits her. It's just
very baggy.
okay.
And
it's not baggy, but it does make her look like she's 12 and a human child rather than a young adult halfling.
yeah. So that probably won't take long. Like if you guys want to go to the or continue to the outskirts, I'll just like run into town and like see if there's a tailor in here with stature appropriate.
I cannot wait for the part where we just fly over somebody and then I just airdrop the druid and then it's just bear. I just had that mental image.
It's a rough neighborhood up here. But if you're looking for secondhand, possibly stolen, used clothing that has been cleaned before sale, you can find such things.
As long as you were not a Rimworld NPC, you'll be fine.
Yeah. Well,
don't ask, and you'll never know.
I'm just trying to find like stature appropriate clothes.
For a silver piece apiece, you can get her an extra set of clothing.
Yeah, and I'll let her like go through the stuff and pick out the stuff she likes.
Haig finds a nice green cloak that fits him and completes his Baby Yoda ensemble. And he turns to Callie and says, "Is there any chance that you could purchase this for me?"
The cloak?
Yes. I didn't bring my wallet.
Of course.
I left it down in the cesspool of undead goblin hordes.
Now, how much is the cloak, Arthur?
The guy's willing to sell it for a silver piece.
300 gold pieces.
Yeah.
It's actually magical.
I like how he didn't go back, like he didn't get his shit before joining us. Like he was just like, fuck it, don't need it.
Well, remember, downstairs was an entire horde of fucking undead monsters.
You know, before he forsaked his god or whatever the hell, he should have went and got his shit first.
I mean,
that's not how gods work. Gods don't just go on hold when you're like, let me go get my wallet real quick, and then I'm gonna betray myself.
It's not like they have security escort you out with a box of your shit.
You ever read the Bible? Kelly's basically Jesus to this dude. Drop everything and follow me.
Yeah.
I pulled him out of space and time, and then the last thing he's probably thinking about is getting his underpants. So yeah,
I don't know if
you know what I thought.
If it had a 7-foot tall dragon woman, I might have been more interested.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him like 15 silver and say just go get everything that you need for the upcoming journey.
He immediately goes to what is almost certainly a used goods, stolen, like noble artifacts.
Yeah.
And heads to the book section.
Yeah, he can just get everything that he needs because I'm sure he has like an idea of what he needs to get, and
fucking love thrift stores.
Yeah, don't we have how long would it take? Or are there stature appropriate like armor garments for Riverin? Because I have the studded leather, but I don't know how long that would take to like resize, or if I could just trade that in for a smaller size.
They could resize that over the course of several hours for her.
I mean, it's easier to go bigger to smaller.
Yeah, let's do that then.
Okay. I mean, you find a guy on the north side. This is probably the least shadiest place in the entire northern.
Like he was the first shop in this place, and then everyone else just built around him.
No, he's the last armorer before you head north to the warfront.
Oh,
he's the first.
Everybody gave him shit for the location. They're like, your location sucks. He's like, just one day.
Watch it be the twist where he's the first step of gentrification to the area.
I mean, it's a nice place around his. It looks like some of his boys, like armor boys, huge muscles, are acting as security. The area is less muddy. You can walk in and out. It's clean. People will look you in the eye in the neighborhood of that armor shop, and he sends one of his journeymen to refit and personalize the armor to fit underneath her clothing.
Well, it's Riverin's clothing.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. I don't wear armor anymore.
Yes.
I wear magic.
I understand. I was there when that happened.
Yep. I wear so much magic because I've got like...
You wear hopes and dreams. That's what you wear.
Is it going to be colder in the north? Like, what's the topography?
The clans of the flow where you're headed to are iceboat Viking type people. Ooh. It's going to be real fucking cold up there.
Just stand closer to the horse.
I will prepare accordingly and get winter gear that I can put over the top of my armor. So like a cloak. I don't wear a cloak anymore. That's good. Yeah, so I'll get like a warm cloak and like furs and stuff like that.
Heavy
I can
blankets.
Put over the top of the plate.
Only
heavy
assholes
blankets
fighting cloaks.
Yeah.
I do have a question. Am I going to be okay as a dwarf? Because I still plan on going sleeveless.
Well, my first question is, before you talk about dwarvenness, what are you doing with this horse? I'm just going to tell you that, like, walking around with a demon horse of shadow and flame... Is it
a demon or is it a fiend?
It's a fiend, but it literally creates fire from its hooves. 100% will... You're walking around with a stolen vehicle right next to a police...
The police hide behind this sign.
You're driving around a Tesla that's on fire currently.
Yeah, I mean, you're
Tesla eventually.
You're attracting a huge amount of attention if you leave this thing in the open with you. I don't know what you want to do. I don't like
town with them.
Riding this thing is basically proclaiming your allegiance to the demon lord, more or less.
Is that the only appearance it's able to conjure?
Correct, but it can sideshift into the ethereal plane and just follow you around.
Well, hell, then why want to do that?
Well, all right. I mean, if you tell it to do that, it will do that.
I will inform it to do so.
All right. It'll come back when you tell it to come back. But yeah, it just follows you around on the ethereal plane.
Do I always have like a weird feeling that something's watching me?
If you haven't had that feeling so far, you really should have. I've hinted several times that you guys are being watched at all times, to the point that at the end of the last episode, I literally showed you people watching you at all times.
So the CIA listened to me.
See, chat, you're in the game too. Chat's in the game.
Have you guys have you told us about what you saw in the ethereal plane yet?
I think one of the last things I would have to go back. I'm pretty sure one of the last things I said is I'm definitely going to tell Doc about this after I shifted out and whatever.
Well, then let's have that conversation right now while the two of you are standing outside the armor shop.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, I'll just walk up, just lean over. I guess stand up on my tiptoes. So when I went through the door, right? I did the little shifty weird thing, felt that little weird thing. Yeah, there were people watching us. Something watching us. There was like 6 of them.
2.
2? I thought it was more than 2. All right. There's like, 2, maybe more watching us. I didn't get a good look, but yeah. I don't know if you might know anything about that in one of your books.
I've told you before, I'm no longer a drug addict, but I'll check. Can I make like an Arcana check or something?
Yeah. What do you want to learn about?
It's in the ethereal plane, so I'm assuming I would know stuff about that place being an extraplanar being.
Sure.
Or having extraplanar memories.
Yeah.
This is a rental, I guess.
me up.
So
This is a rental.
Show me your dice.
14.
All right. You want some basic ethereal plane knowledge?
Basic information about like what kind of beings are there and if they match up with what he's telling me.
So the ethereal plane is kind of a go-between type place. When you planar travel to any other plane, you actually temporarily step through the ethereal plane on the way out.
Is that the plane I saw when I closed the portal?
Yes. Infinite sea of grayness, fog, and
The connection between.
Okay.
yeah. So there's only a few different types of creatures that are native to that area. Githzerai, Githyanki, you've heard of them. They have some sort of problem with each other, and they battle out on this plane. So neither of them actually currently live on the ethereal plane, but they battle it out on the astral sea, crossing a few planes with their conflict. The creatures that he's describing, one of them you recognize as being the creature that confronted you at that astral door. Small horned devil, black ashen skin. The other that he describes sounds almost exactly like the incubus that Kelly helped release.
Interesting.
That fucking guy.
Well,
Dave's suddenly like, what's this?
I don't think I ever told you guys about like the thing that I let back into the portal before
You
I
did
closed
not.
it.
No.
So it'd be like one is the incubus that awoke Kelly's libido, and the other is a creature that I let back into the portal before I closed it. He said he had he was a messenger of some sort, so clearly we're being watched specifically. By whom, I don't know.
Keep an eye out. Let you know if I see anything different. Yeah.
I can survive in that plane. If you can take me there, maybe I can interrogate them.
I literally can take you there. I mean, I don't know that yet, I don't think, but that is a thing that we can do. The horse can take, is it me and 3 other people, or is it 3 people total?
Yes, you can take you and 3 other people.
Yeah, well, is it willing, whatever? Yeah.
Yep. They have to be willing.
Yeah, I did my extras thing on D&D Beyond if people want to see it. I think they can see it. Whatever.
Well, anytime you want to take me to the ethereal plane and have me interrogate some creatures that I vaguely know about, because I don't know, what was the rules on like mortal beings on the ethereal plane?
Like mechanically, I think your body stays. It's just your spirit or your mind essentially, because the silver cords.
So the thing is, you get a cord behind you, a little silver cord. And if that gets cut, your soul and your body are split from each other forever and you die.
It's essentially like in the Matrix when Mouse dies. If you die in the Matrix, you die for real.
That doesn't happen to Daka because he's an ethereal being.
You're not an ethereal being. You're from another plane, not the ethereal plane, though. You're from the plane of stone.
Yeah.
Plane of earth, sorry.
Well, like I was under my understanding, like I would have less risk going to that plane than the other party members.
I don't think that's true.
No, the ethereal plane's kind of like, imagine like a spoke of like a wagon wheel. It's kind of just like the convergence point, if I recall correctly.
What was about the portal then? Because I could look at it and be fine, but Agram couldn't.
I think it was something to do with the runes is the reason why it caused me pain. It wasn't the fact that you were looking into the ethereal plane. It was just the portal itself. There's something with that.
Well, death isn't. It's an inconvenience for us, but like less of an inconvenience than normal mortals. So. Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I like.
Sorry,
things like
I'm actually.
Red Notes are so.
I apologize. I'm missing.
Dangerous.
I am making a mistake here. The ethereal plane and the astral plane are 2 different things.
Oh,
the astral plane is
the
one that
astral
you
plane.
saw into before, the infinite sea of silveriness.
Oh,
the ethereal plane is basically like ghosts live there. If you have see invisibility, you can see things that are in the ethereal plane.
Okay.
Watching you.
Okay.
The ethereal plane is like a web that is over top of the world. like a
But those-
hyperdimension.
But
My
those are still
apologies.
the,
Yes,
those
sorry.
are still the creatures that I know about or I've
Yes.
seen before. So
Correct.
cool.
And the last time you fought the incubus, it disappeared into a different plane, presumably the ethereal plane. I mean, you saw it go invisible at one point, so
Well, we tried to fight it, but it was way too powerful for us at the time.
yes, but it also retreated in the process.
It wouldn't make sense because the ability is called Ethereal Stride. It would help if
Yes.
I
Yep.
could read.
There are very few creatures that are native to the ethereal plane. You have to travel to get there. Only like ghosts and stuff live there, and they're not native because, of course, you have to be killed to become a ghost.
Well, do we want to stop being watched before we go, or because if we go there, we could just like interrogate them or get violent and stop
So
them.
I was about to say that that operates under the assumption that we could. I mean, they might be more powerful. Either it's just stronger, or they might be more powerful than us in that plane. There's no telling. I mean, we know what they are. I don't think we have enough information because we've become, I mean, arguably stronger over time. So there's no telling what those two fuckers have been up to.
Yeah.
So I think it's something we should be wary of, but I don't think there's anything we could really do about it. I think we have more pressing concerns at the moment anyway, right?
Well, now that I know about them, I'm gonna look into the sky and break the fourth wall on them.
Yeah, what do you want to do? I mean, conceivably, if they are watching the group, if any of them are around you right now, they're listening to this whole conversation.
Yeah, I'll look to like where I think they might be looking and like make the like I'm watching you thing.
Oh my god, you're like a dude that's in a detective interrogation room, right? And they're left in there and they're looking at the mirror, but they're looking at the wrong place, and you're like, I can see you beyond that mirror. And the detective's on the other side, and he's just like,
Dumbass.
yeah, that's you right now.
Can I make a skill roll to like try to pinpoint them?
No.
I don't know what that would be.
But if you have something that lets you see invisible stuff or true seeing,
Verify the entire surrounding.
What does devil sight actually do?
Gives you true sight.
Good question. I don't think true sight extends, but
Because like that's the closest thing that I have right now.
I know Devil Sight lets you see through the spell darkness, which is magical darkness. So I think Devil Sight does give you true sight, I believe. Or it might just be for your shit.
it's a warlock invocation I'm looking at.
Yeah. Because that's one of the big things is you take Devil Sight so that you can drop darkness and you can still see through it, but your enemies are trying to hit you at disadvantage.
Yeah, it only allows you to see through darkness. It doesn't give you the ability to see invisible stuff or anything like that.
Okay. Well then, I don't have any way to sense or see it, so no.
Okay.
I'm assuming there would be like a spell like sense whatever, like sense blank.
See invisibility, true sight, anything that lets you travel to the ethereal plane will let you do that.
But I don't have any of those, so I just look at the the one way
You
mirror
make a
in the wrong
guess.
spot. Yep.
You take a chance and you roll the dice.
Should I roll the dice?
No.
Man, I just want that to be. I don't want that to work.
Very well. I'll tell you what. Make a charisma saving throw. We'll see if your luck, your physical ability to affect the world is good enough.
I do have proficiency in this.
Well, that's. Oh my god!
Let's say I would hope so. You're a warlock.
We cut to a quick ethereal plane side cut where Antugatas is just standing around staring at the two interposing creatures that are following Daka around. Then Daka suddenly turns and looks, and like the succubus's face or the incubus's face and Daka's are like 2 feet apart. Then they get closer and closer and closer. Daka stares directly into the incubus's eyes, and the incubus is like, "Can he see me?"
And then I do like the.
Give him a wink.
And the
Give
little
him a
creature
wink.
that's right next to him goes, well played, Arcanist."
So this is the same incubus that we freed earlier by mistake,
Correct.
right?
I mean, I wouldn't
Okay.
say mistake.
I mean, we opened it not knowing what was in there, even though there was warning signs on it. But
Well, yeah, we literally just went like,
What kind of
XP.
adventure doesn't open something despite massive warning signs?
yeah, it's like don't dead inside open or whatever, you know.
It'd be like
Abandoned
playing
hope.
Left 4 Dead and ignoring all the signs that say "fuck Sita, don't go into this room," and you go in there and then you're trapped and hundreds of zombies spawn through the walls.
Yeah, but
Abandon
you-
hope,
you need
all
that
ye who
defib
enter
kit.
here. Abandon hope, all ye who enter here. I bet there's some bitch and loot at the end of that, right? Everybody just brush through the sign.
Yeah, because that's wherever the adventures die. So you got to go in there.
Well, you got to prove you're better than the other adventurers. They obviously they're all dead because they suck.
Haig comes out with a older volume, heavily used encyclopedia and some sort of collection of noble historical travelogues and a diary.
Okay.
All these books look like they got the shit kicked out of them.
That's good. That means they're actually usable books. What does it cost to get all like winter gears to avoid getting fatigued and stuff like that?
Are you buying it just for yourself or for the whole group?
Oh well, I assume I'm going to buy it for the whole group unless people
5 gold
don't
pieces.
want 5 gold pieces. Is everyone okay with that? Because there's going to be some wintry shit.
That'll load everybody, and then both the new mule donkey. I think it's a donkey, right?
It's a donkey.
Andrew Gatas doesn't need it, neither does Gygax, but Riverin and everybody else does require it.
So 5 gold? Okay.
Yep.
I think I've already got like fur from like the shoulders up, but I just have no sleeves because fuck.
Can I just like halfway turn into a bear to stay warm?
I mean,
You're like a centaur, but you have the head of the horse and the body of a man.
Well, it's like Atomikspoon. If you stay in there for 24
God.
hours, you become a
Oh
bear
my
permanently.
god. You know, I have the complete collection of Animorphs on the shelf behind me.
I don't believe you. I do not believe you. There is no way you
I
have
will
every
bring it
single
over
book.
after the break.
What Spooty wants is like on the cover. You know how there's like the different stages of turning into the animal. He wants the
I
middle
love
one.
that part. Like the half rat, half human face.
Yeah. Some horrible being, but he's warm.
The best part about Animorphs is that the writer at the end of the series is like, everyone keeps writing me, asking me why the ending wasn't happy and fun. The whole book is about teenagers being forced to become child soldiers. Of course it wasn't going to end well. They all have terrible lives. No one loves them. One guy's just stuck as a hawk repeatedly. Even when he gets a chance to not be a hawk, he just goes back to being a hawk.
I just remember like the ear things, like in Animorphs, they put those things in people's ears all the time.
Oh,
that was.
Eek your slug people. Yeah.
Oh man, that was gross as a kid. Anyway,
If the hawk guy was not named Tony, I'm so disappointed. Or Anthony.
it's like
Anthony Hawk.
Oh god, I found the image. I
His
was
name was
looking for.
Tobias, but sure.
Tobias, yeah. So everyone's got winter gear, so just put that in your inventory, and sleeping warm blankets, whatever, so you can actually sleep at night without dying. So
Winter is coming year.
Wow. Well, Haig is wearing his Joffrey clothes. So,
That's right.
as long as he doesn't attend any weddings, he should be okay.
Goes from looking like Baby Yoda to to an Ewok covered in fur.
Not that furry. Come on, this isn't a Zonolar fanfic.
Or any of those books that we found in that library all those sessions ago.
Kelly, Haig pulls you aside and says, "You mentioned earlier that you had a plan to take goods to the front line.
yes,
Resell them.
We should definitely think about that. I'm going to go to the armorer and see if he wants to, if he has like a large amount of goods that he wants to sell that we can buy.
They are nearly cleaned out here.
Okay.
Everyone
that's
bought all
interesting.
their stuff on the way north.
Yeah, the reason why we were able to get so much of that stuff last time was because we literally killed like 45 halflings.
Well,
and
what
took
we
all their
could
shit.
do We
No,
could
one
just,
time
like-
we just took it. We just like they were having a good night, and we're just like, yeah, let's
well, I
take
mean,
Yeah,
this
you
shit.
guys
that
stole the
too,
wagons and ran them out of town.
Is the war currently happening?
So technically, the war is always happening, but they traditionally reserve 40 days of service for every noble, where they have to bring their militia and fight at a certain time, and most of them choose to do so right at the beginning of the wet season, what we would consider spring.
My thought is, if the fighting's already going on, we could just go north and pick up, like loot all the dead bodies. I could prestidigitate them clean, and then we could sell them at the front line.
I mean, generally, you don't leave your dead. You go and get their shit back because you can, they're just throwing money away.
Unless you're completely routed.
So,
I mean, yeah.
Kelly,
But then the other side takes all the shit. So
while you're talking to this guy, Haig steps forward and says, "My good man, obviously you have no finished material necessary, but I have spent some time as a leader of a military force. Even partially completed works can be used to repair. Any leather or raw material will receive quite a bounteous sell on the front lines. You had such materials for sale that we could procure. A deal could be worked out between us." And he turns to Kelly like, "Am I doing this right?" Like,
Sage nod.
so yeah, like he starts bringing out like huge piles of unusable leather scrap that would only be used to like repair where someone has been stabbed. It wouldn't be something that an armorer who works at the Capitol would use, because of course no one gets stabbed around the Capitol. But on the front lines, this stuff could mean the difference between life and death.
What about like maybe we could go to a tanner as well and get all these like pelts and stuff, that like just raw pelts that we can bring over there as well because of how cold it is and shit.
So I rarely ever do these, but let me offer a suggestion. What if we turn this into a skill challenge?
Yeah. Okay. I'm into that.
Can I help inform? Because I'm trying to get it. I mean, I'm a skilled smith. I'm proficient in smithing, and also a dwarf. I would know.
I know you're
looking
a dwarf.
at something. Well, I'm saying that's where I get something from. It's a racial
Arthur,
thing.
in case you forgot.
I just meant in real life.
I'm a very tall dwarf in that case. I'm like almost 6'1".
I don't know. You got the saltiness. You only drink whiskey. You got a beard.
Again, very tall dwarf. I'm like 6'1".
That's okay.
But
you know what they call tall dwarves? Dwarves.
The tallest midget.
Humans. Disgusting. But I mean, I would know, like even, that would just be a waste of time. That's wasted space or whatever. Even that at a base level is completely useless or whatever.
So let me throw this out here. Some sort of appraising check that you would either be making or helping somebody with.
Why is appraisal not a skill in 5e?
Is smithing tool proficiency tool?
Yes,
I believe so.
Then I would let you
kick
kick off this. So you're going to need 5 successes before 3 failures, and that can be the first check right there, is using your smithing tools to try to get a better deal. So let me ask, before we start the skill challenge, how much money are you willing to invest in this endeavor?
Well, I mean, we have...
I'm going to make like a gradation by how many successes you have versus how many failures you have. The better you do, the more money you get on the far end, right? Like a multiplier.
No.
Okay, so we have 110 electrum. Maybe we can put 100 electrum into it.
Okay, so 500 gold pieces.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that reasonable,
you
guys?
go spin in that electrum piece, and you get a little bit of an odd look in these parts, but money plays.
Because we don't have a lot of use for 500 gold pieces right now, but that 500 gold pieces could become like
plus
20,000 gold pieces.
We don't know. Well, 500 now versus, let's say, because last time we did this, granted it was a whole bunch of stuff. It would have been a couple grand. Who knows what magic items we'll find that we could then be able to afford that we would not be able to afford otherwise. I'm all for it. Fuck it. What's the worst we're going to do? Learn, okay, that was a stupid ass idea, and just don't do it again.
Did we take up the guy's offer on the second wagon?
Yeah, we got 2 wagons.
Yeah, because we have all.
We can also sell off the other wagon.
Sorry, you have 19 chickens.
And like fresh
I
food.
know, I've got
Holy
all that.
shit, we can sell fresh food at a premium.
All right,
So
let's
we
just
have
get-
a
let's just get
wagon, a
some-
chicken wagon, a donkey, 19 chickens, 5 wine and cheese, 60 rations, and 2 healing potions, right? Yeah.
I'm down. I give a yay.
Well, I mean, we have 110 and we have 85 gold pieces on top of that. So maybe we just spend all the electrum. We just spend 110 electrum and keep the gold pieces as emergency funds or whatever. So.
Do we?
Do we have any shit we can get rid of?
Oh, we also have we have 4 crystal beryl, 6 malachite, 2 bloodstone, 2 amber, and 1 black opal.
I'd see if you can liquidate the gems and just get some more capital.
Do I know
Yeah,
if
so
any-
Keep a reserve of gold. Say
This is not
whatever.
the kind of neighborhood where you're going to be able to.
Okay,
liquidate.
well, I mean,
you'll have to go
might be able to
somewhere
find
to do
something.
that.
Would I know if any of those gems are like important for other stuff?
Well, there's the black opal is worth 1,000 GP,
Um,
and
like crafting, spell components.
yeah, I mean, if any gems that have such, if you look through your spell list, right, you'll be able to see which gems are required
diamonds,
to
for
cast spell.
example, are good
Diamonds,
for revival.
I think
yeah.
ruby are also quite popular for.
So maybe hold on to the high value stuff just in case we need to like revive someone again. That we have something on hand.
Okay, so we'll save the black opal then, but the rest of the stuff is like total. Hang on, for 300, 310, 360. So we have an extra 360 GP just floating about. So
Nice.
can we add the gems to this sale, Arthur? And that would be okay.
How much total gem worth?
It's 360 gold pieces
That's
worth
a
of
little
gems.
rough. We'll see how the roll goes. What's the total that you're?
110 electrum and 360 gold pieces worth of gems.
110 electrum, so 5,500 gold piece, and then 300 worth of gems.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
give you the exact gems if you
Yeah,
want. So
you're dropping a lot of money. So let's start with
These
that.
are the gems. So yeah.
Let's start with the smithing.
Okay.
Let's see, it's just proficiency? Yeah, it's not.
Yep.
Anything on top? Yeah, okay.
It's proficiency, and then it's like so your tool should be proficiency and then a stat. So
In this case, the stat will be your strength. Or sorry, no. This is about salability. It's going to be charisma
Charisma.
okay.
because you're not
charisma's-
smithing something. You're
Yeah.
picking
I'm
good
using-
goods.
Yeah, charisma. I mean, I don't have a. It's only 10, but at least it's not negative. But I do get to whatever. It's fine.
Sure.
It's better than nothing.
7.
Okay. So
All
how
right,
many do you
that's
said
it.
to make, or do you just want the one?
Just one
Oh.
to start with. So that's one failure on the front end. Yeah. You go around. You try to get the good stuff. Sort through it. It's all like trash, is what they're willing to sell. You wouldn't put this in any armor. Far beneath you. You're just like, call this leather? This is the hide of a dead animal. Okay. This might block one arrow at extreme range. That's
We
it.
call this leather. It's a Tootsie Roll.
This is made out of dead animal and dead tree carcass. Disgusting. Get it out of here.
Finally, some good fucking food. No.
Fucking tosser! The plate is cold. That's who you become. You're Gordon Ramsay of Smithing.
The Gordon Ramsay of smithing. You call this rune smithing? My blind grandmother could make better runes.
Merchant Nightmares. That's the other channel in the Scrying Bowls.
Yeah, you guys are off to a rough start picking stuff up.
I almost
forget
spit
you've
that
got-
all over my keyboard.
Don't forget
whiskey.
you've got inspirations to use on this
It's a
sort
little
of
late
shit
to
too. So.
yeah, like for future inspiration, yes, but now
That's right. I do still have
the
inspiration.
roll is on the table. What about
Not
the rest
used
of you?
to having it.
What do you want to do in order to gather goods, sell it, and gather goods, find quality goods, and then ship it?
I might be the only trades.
I mean, I've got like insight that I can use.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Does anyone else want to try some stuff like that too?
I could do. The only thing that I could really do is investigation.
Yeah,
Like I could work that into
absolutely
finding good shit.
Find the good deals. Listen, it sounds like the two of you have just become what was that old American Roadhouse? Antique Roadhouse. Yeah, the two of you are just wandering around Antique's place, just like
what's that one?
Profanity. I'm that guy.
What's that other one? The one with the two is it American Pickers? The two guys go and find like crazy good shit.
All right, yeah. Let's see an insight and investigation check from each of you.
I'm gonna spend the inspiration on mine.
Sure. Go ahead, please do.
Yeah.
And then I've used this inspiration. Now I only have the year of the 2020 inspiration left, so I won't untick it. But yeah, just
that's the year of the rat. Squeak squeak.
Squeak squeak.
Yeah. Well,
investigation.
Hit me with the advantage dice here.
Inside.
Maybe I can make another roll if we come across some proper. Oof,
Okay.
damn.
Ooh,
That's
there
one
you
success, but I'm remember that there's a critical there. So far you have one success and two failures.
This is like Agram's the guy that like someone brings the product to. I'm the guy that comes over. I'm just like, I know a guy, and Dave's the guy with the expert with the critical.
No, I'm the guy behind the counter at the pawn shop show, and I'm just like, look, I can't sell this one of a kind item.
Yeah,
I can't sell this.
yeah.
You know, it's like,
you
I'm
need
gonna
to
have to find a buyer for this. I'll give you $20.
You need to get 4 successes before the next failure.
Yeah.
I don't know
Really,
shit.
man?
I don't know shit about leather,
Yeah.
so.
Spoonik, do you have anything to contribute to this magical journey?
I am
looking
just
through it?
standing by and watching.
The other thing I could potentially do is maybe make some sort of Arcana check or something along those lines.
What's your rules on rolling the same skill?
You have to present it in a new situation, right?
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Like,
You can't just spam the same thing over and over
Yeah.
again.
Can I talk to people then? I'll do like
Absolutely.
the same role that Agram was doing, but I have a way higher charisma.
Are there? Well,
Yeah. Sure.
So is that a charisma save or is that a skill check?
Let's make it a persuasion, perhaps.
Yeah.
18. Yeah. You go around looking for the best deals, the premium deals, and you find a guy who knows a guy in a couple different places. You know, you manage to get some back alley deals for cheap, like food rations, stuff that's gonna last for a while, blankets.
I bought an old storage unit on auction. It turned out good.
Wow, we are really
Going through all the old DLC
we keep coming back to
shows.
American television tonight.
Man.
it pretty much. It's all pretty much History Channel too.
Oh, I got a good history. I could.
Remember, in History Channel used to make actual television.
What? No.
Crazy.
I'm not saying it was aliens, but
I mean, they diversified. Now they got a lot of stuff.
Yeah, they stopped doing anything
They
about
have all the
history.
same stuff. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's all the same. Well, because apparently all the people that used to make that stuff fucked off to like Curiosity Stream and a couple of the other ones. That's where all that good content went.
So Haig sidles up beside you, Henley, and you know, I don't know that the two of you ever talked.
Me and who?
Haig, the
Haig?
goblin.
I don't
Cleric.
think we have.
Yeah, so he's very, very short compared to you. Very short.
Most people are.
But he's he's only 3 feet tall. So and now he's
I'm not the
swaddled.
shortest one anymore.
He's swaddled in his forest green cloak, and he just looks up at you and says, "We haven't spoken before. You are a druid, correct?"
Yes, that is my current profession.
Do you have any knowledge of the medicinal arts, or perhaps any spells that could aid you in preparing salves or potives? Such things will sell greatly on the front lines.
I mean, I can do a bit of cure wounds, or really any healing spell. They're all at my command. Just depends on which I prepare.
Perhaps you could spend some time in town selling your services as a medicinal provider in order to get a discount on healing potions. Sort of like a Build-A-Bear workshop thing where you help build your own healing potions.
I do like bears.
Yeah, I caught on to that.
You know, Pig, that's not a bad idea. Maybe we should speak more often.
Okay.
I'm trying to do a less racist Swedish voice. I don't know if it's working or not, though.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you something, eh? Your less racist Swedish voice has really been working out for you, don't you know?
Just listen to the podcast that all the Skarsgård brothers were on.
Oh, God. Yeah, I can do that. I can go sell my body on the street for healing potions. Is that what I'm doing?
You want to make a medicine check here, or maybe like a nature check, something to represent you, not sell your body. You're not Roxanne.
I'm just watching him do this as like
I'm putting on the red light.
Yeah. Okay. That's a third success.
Nice.
Yeah. You guys pick up some healing potions on the cheap. As Finley spends 8 hours helping to craft some.
Is there I'm trying to think of some. Is there a place where there's like a fight club that I could throw down some like fighting for pinks?
Yes.
Some bets.
You are on the war-facing side of the city in the rough and tumble rogues quarter of the town. There's absolutely underground fighting rings, and for a sleeveless dwarf, you pretty much have premium entry capacity to any of them. Like no one's like, "Are you a cop? You have to tell me you're a cop." No, they're just like, "This guy's cool."
I see you tread the path of the swole.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my God.
My idea isn't necessarily like even if there's like, let's say even if there's a pool or bets or whatever, I could throw that towards the pot or whatever, just something to whatever the prize might be to help contribute. Since I don't know shit about leatherworking apparently.
Arthur, have you read Golden Kimu before?
Nope.
Okay, so there's a fight club in that manga, which is literally just dudes standing in a line, and they take turns punching each other in the face until one person falls down. I'll see if I can find. Yeah, it's really, really great.
If you've ever played the first Witcher game, there's a fighting mini game. That's what I'm imagining.
I mean, look, dude, that's what people do.
So I feel like there's numerous ways you could accomplish this. Strength athletics.
We definitely have to be some athletics.
Wisdom, insight, or perhaps a performance check.
I'm not fighting like Robert Downey Jr. here, where it's also I'm just beating the living shit out of. I could take it.
You tell me how you want to try to accomplish this.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a prize pool, or I'm going to get in on some of the betting action.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe add or whatever. And I am going to burn my normal inspiration because I still have both.
I'm going to use that squeak squeak mouse yet. I got it. Yeah.
So, 24.
Yeah, that's 4 successes, 2 failures.
Like
one more of either will end this.
A small scene of Agram, like, I'd like to fight. The next scene is like him standing up all sweaty with a bloody ear in his mouth. He's like, ah!
I don't know if you've ever seen the show How I Met Your Mother, but whenever they do a flashback to one of the main characters' childhoods, they play a song called Murder Train. The lyrics are just, murder! I'm aboard the murder train. Yeah. I imagine that we just get flashes of Agram and strobe lights punching people.
It's just it's just if Doc has ever wanted to see someone hit a motherfucker with another motherfucker, this would be that time. Yeah. I'm just throwing somebody by their feet.
It's like a mixture of like the bunny scene from Monty Python and the Holy Grail mixed with Blade and strobe lights. Yeah. Just like a dwarf jumping from neck to neck in a crowd.
Because I'm literally not just super strong, naturally strong. I have the spirit of a bear inside of me. So I'm also naturally, magically strong as well.
So we need one more success? Is that what you said?
Yeah, we need one more. I tried to think out of the box with the fight club thing. I don't know what
worked out really well for you.
What else we can do? Because
I have a history check that we can potentially throw around as well.
Yeah. Well, how are you
Dang.
going to put that into play? Tell me about that.
So, I mean, there's probably like potentially some items in here that have gone through a battle and been fine. That, items that maybe I can do some sort of appraisal on them to see.
Oh my god. You're going to be the guy that goes to the used car lot and then they're like there's a ding on this. You're like, you want the car, but you're just like, fender's bent.
Yep.
Leather's torn here,
Yeah, and I've got
This bad
proficiency,
boy
so I
can
can.
fit so many broken dreams in it.
I've got history. I got history proficiency, so I can give you advantage.
Yeah, you guys can act at advantage.
Do I hear a little bit of rod knock? Just man, I'm gonna have to take those heads off. It's gonna be a whole thing.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm rolling with advantage, I think that's a pretty good deal, guys.
Yeah.
So
The
Yep.
two of you go around and not exactly spin a falsehood, but you yarn it up.
You were cherry picking like a motherfucker.
during the
That's what you're
3 years.
Ah!
2 criticals.
Nice.
During the 3 years that you guys were stoned, me and Kelly got really good at this.
Yeah.
doing. Who are you and what did you do with Dave?
I will tell you how much you all make when you arrive.
Hell yeah.
We're just not fighting. Skill checks are fine, but fighting is garbage.
Well, I mean, no, actually, Dave makes most of our critical melee.
That's
hits,
actually
too.
true. He's the only
I
one. who's
mean,
got,
I'm probably rolling the most attacks out of everyone here, except for you now.
Yeah, well, I mean,
So-
you got stuck in first before the rest of us did. So,
Mhm.
but now we got 2 melee boys.
Yeah, just wait till I take another couple levels in fighter and get my second.
I love that. I'll have to send it to you, Dave. It's a picture of a guy in armor. He's just got a juice box that says the fighter waiting for the casters to take their turns.
I mean, that's pretty much true. I mean, like, hey, do you want to use a spell, Dave? No, I'll just tonight.
Well, it's like one of the reasons why I recommended the spell templates to AP is it really simplifies, like, oh, it hits here, and so you can see it, right? You're not, it's a fighter. I'm gonna hit him. Guess what? I'm gonna do it again.
I'm gonna do it again.
Do it again.
I'll fucking do it again.
Let's see if I can find that picture. Actually, it's probably on my phone. It's where half my memes are these days.
Your wagon is completely overstocked with material and healing potions, leather bits, armor bits, some plates of armor, heirloom swords, and other weapons that maybe people didn't think would get off the rack, but you polished them up on the journey a little bit.
Yeah.
What exactly do I need to make potions?
So you'll need a
materials and half the
herbalism
value,
kit,
right?
some spare money that will represent buying useful material.
It's like
and
half
time.
the value.
During
Yeah.
this time, if it's all the same to you guys, I'll buy an herbalism kit so I can make us healing potions.
I'm into it. I'm into it. I mean, we've got some GP floating about, and if this goes well, we're going to come into some money. So,
Given an hour, a character who has an herbalism kit with proficiency can turn a flower into a dose of ointment.
Oh, proficiency?
Yes.
What does it take to get proficiency?
That's just for creating ointments to stop like certain diseases and such.
oh,
Not for a healing potion. I'm looking that one
Okay.
up right now.
If I remember right, you have to have the alchemist kit, the materials to make it, and I think it's half the gold value. Because we've looked this up before.
Yes.
Yeah. It's half the gold value, the components and time.
Yeah,
And, like,
then,
Because I can still make them because like it was part of the warlock Fey
yeah.
section, right?
Yeah, so I know you're the one able to do it. You've got some proficiency with it. You just to see what your proficiency is with.
I just don't have proficiency in herbalism anymore because I'm not tiefling Daka.
I think you can become proficient with stuff if you spend enough. Like it's like there's a gold cost and time. Like you can learn languages and shit. So I would assume
You can't learn more proficiencies.
Oh, you can.
Those
I
come
mean,
from-
you can, when you level up, you can take a feat instead of.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That's about the only way that I think you can.
Yeah, it
do
says
that sort of
proficiency
stuff.
with the kit is required to create antitoxins and potions of healing. So, not just having one isn't good enough. You have to
We
actually
need
be
a
good at
we
using it.
probably need a ranger honestly. is
Then
what we need.
I wouldn't bother then.
Very well. When you're looking at it, Haig goes, I can do that.
Man, this guy is
the gift that keeps giving, dude.
I mean, you realize that he's a creepy necromancer cleric. Herbalism and alchemy
no, he's
are...
a cleric. He's a cleric of life now. Of time.
No, he's not life domain. It's time.
Cleric of time.
I mean, if you go far enough back in time, the life comes back. That's how it works.
So yeah, if you drink this potion, you will go back in time until where you're not hurt. There you go. It's...
You can open up a potion shop called the Relieving Yourself, because he's the relieved.
I
love it.
But I'll just be like, I'll raise my eyebrows, or where my eyebrows would be if I had them. It'd be like, I used to know. It's good to know that you know. Game recognized game, I guess.
Game recognized game.
Cool.
He doesn't have the money to buy an herbalism kit. It's way too expensive for him.
Yeah. But if
we'll buy him something.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's 5 gold pieces. So.
Oh yeah, no, we'll hook him up with that for sure.
Yeah. Well, when I have it in my hands and I remember that, oh shit, I don't remember how to do this. I'll just like pay for it and toss it to.
So do you want me to remove all the electrum and all the gems from the inventory?
It's spent. Yes, your money is spent. You have essentially a parcel of goods that weighs hundreds of pounds.
Yeah.
That we can then sell to be more than that.
You
roughly.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, so anytime he has 8 hours of spare work at a laboratory type condition and 25 gold pieces worth of spare material, he can make 1 potion in 8 hours.
Okay, and is it a laboratory type condition? Is this something that we can set up on the go, or
you would need to have like a carriage or a wagon specifically made to do this? You know, standing on the back of a cart, not how you like delicately balancing materials.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like when we're... So I was thinking like maybe when we're camping or something like that, he's capable of doing that, but I guess not.
I mean, he has to spend 8 hours doing it.
And like the super tall glass tubes, and like a branch comes and like nicks the top and knocks it over.
That's why they made the method in RV. It's covered.
Yeah, exactly. So, you guys need an RV.
Yeah, we need an RV. We'll make good for cart nuts.
Cart nuts. That's what you invent cart nuts for, to counterbalance the RV's weight.
It's all coming full circle.
These are made of tungsten. Don't ask questions.
And not that I want to put you on the spot here, Arthur, but how much do you think we'll get at the end of all that?
You think that you'll make a profit?
Profit on the electrum and the gold.
Yeah.
So
on the gems, yes.
How much was the electrum worth? It was like
550.
550, and then 360. So it's too early for my math.
Over
right
900.
Now. 900 gold pieces. Okay.
Over 900.
I'll just make a note here in the group inventory.
It's over 9,000 silver.
Wow.
Okay, so I guess we start our travel then. We start heading north.
So, what's your plan? Is to make for what you believe to be the front lines of this war?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and we have the pass, the badge or something.
We're given something to make.
So
like
you
a statuette. It's like a little statuette thing.
It's basically like the holy symbol of the archdevil. It's the symbol of Stalvin Black. I mean, it's
get a hall pass.
Really not something that you want to have on your person if someone searches you, right? Like, it's basically like, oh yeah, I'm a evil heretical Satanist.
I mean, hypothetically, you could put it in like a saddlebag on your horse and then send him to the other place, right? Like,
but the horse is not saddled.
Yeah, it's not.
He rides that horse raw, so raw.
Well, how else do you think you get the buns of steel when you don't have a gym around?
Yeah. I need a survival check for whoever is guiding this convoy that is now
I believe
wagons,
it's still myself.
3 horses.
I
So
believe I
at
still have the
night,
highest.
your nightmare will pop out and basically
Yeah.
do watch for everybody.
Needless to say, I wait until we get out of the town.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then
Like I'm
I'll-
saying, like when
Like
it's
common
nighttime.
sense is employed. All right.
And Tugadas doesn't need sleep, so they will watch you while you sleep. I will remind you though that it does require the flesh of the innocent in order to live, so you have to regularly slaughter chickens for it.
I mean,
And it prefers what's very clearly mortal flesh.
where's trap bait when you need them?
I need to go back through the chat.
Chickens are mortal.
Yeah, but they're not. They're
not human.
They're not souls or whatever.
No redheads.
Trying to make sure my survival skill is correct. I believe it is. All right.
Oh, did you do that updated barbarian alternative stuff from?
Well,
the
yeah, it
UA?
doesn't. Yeah,
Okay.
well, that didn't change my survival stuff at all.
Right.
But yeah, no, I had that last time. It just didn't come into effect because it's all combat stuff.
Sure. Should probably be up on D&D Beyond as well by now.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
Well, no, the alternate stuff isn't because it's not.
It normally goes up after about a week.
That's not. Yeah, at least it wasn't last I checked. I'll check here in a minute, but I'll make a survival check anyway. That's unchanged. Fuck me.
Natural 1.
Yeah. Wow. Goddamn.
As you all are traveling, you pass by unfamiliar locations. The journey is rough. You know, you're off-roading with 2 wagons, 1 cart, 1 wagon now. There's nothing to forage, right? You're going over someone's farmland at every moment. So while there's no real roads, everything belongs to somebody. There's no watchtowers, there's no guidance. You get a little lost. It takes you a whole extra day to arrive on the front lines. And even then, a party of riders comes out to meet your convoy. We're talking 6 lance-wielding, full-plated knights led by 1 rider with a particularly tall pinion, flag, charging full speed for your convoy.
Is Vibro Sword Boy here?
You do not see Vice Wondersaw here, but you do know that you are getting pretty close to the Wondersaw village.
Mm-hmm.
However, it looks like from the fading light of day that the front lines are facing Wondersaw village. It's you know the place that they've come to capture rather than the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these knights are making good time for you.
So what we'll do at this point, I guess we'll halt the convoy on the road, and then I'll continue.
Oh, there's no road.
Forward.
You're off-roading the whole way up here.
Okay, well we'll still halt it, and I will walk further ahead to like stop them ahead before they come to the convoy. If that makes sense.
The knight pulls his faceplate up, and the horsemen move to surround you, Riders of Rohan style. Say, traveler, what is your business?
Delivering goods to the army up north. What business do you have stopping us?
You're passing through my lands.
This fucker's gonna try and shake us down.
Yep. Do you have a merchant's license?
Fucking know it.
We have a guild license from the Adventuring Guild. As far as I'm concerned, that allows us to entitled to carry as many arms as we like.
I don't just see arms there. I see food and armor.
Like I said, we're heading to the north to deliver these goods.
You are under contract with the Adventurers Guild to do this?
We are not.
I will require you to pay a small tax as you pass through my lands on your goods. And you will sell them in my markets first.
So you'll agree with me that the war up north takes precedence to any civil sales we will make on the way. There are good men dying up in that war.
They are my men dying. And I will guide you to my camp, where you will sell your goods there first. And once you have exhausted buyers, you may sell them to whichever other camp you wish from there. I will not prevent you from making sales. I simply want to prioritize my own people first.
Do you intend to stop us if we turn around and leave your lands?
If you turn around and leave my lands, you will head in my lands in many directions. Come. This is not unusual. The price that I would have you pay is but a pittance, and you would sell to any, correct? Why not prioritize mine first?
Well, the simple reason that commerce doesn't work that way. We sell to the best buyer, not to the first buyer.
There are none better than I.
That still doesn't exclude you from being the first.
I can sense that you have not been to the front lines before. There is no organized market. You will find many small markets for each of the nobles.
Arthur, what was the name of the man that I tried to seduce the first time that we came through that region?
Was that?
We haven't been this way before.
Vice Wondersaw?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or something like that. So, and it's like, so you really intend to take the goods that we intend to sell to Vice Wondersaw then?
At this point, they all bring their spears down and start pointing them at your head. And he says, "So, you are a traitor then?"
Do you have news that I do not?
Talking shit.
I want to remind you that I described the front lines as pointing towards Wondersaw Village. In this timeline, it hasn't been taken yet. You basically said you're going to go past the army and sell it to the Demon Lord side.
Well, it looks like we're going to get that innocent flesh after all.
You maybe want to backplay this? I'll let you reverse it.
I was not aware of that.
Yeah, I could see that.
Killing some dudes.
I made sure to describe it, but I could see that didn't come over to you. Do you want to roll back time on that one?
Sure, I use my time powers and we come back.
Reel it back.
Dormammu, I'm here to buy.
That's exactly it.
Instead, you say.
Instead, I say. So we were conscripted originally to go up there, and there was a man that I talked to in
the guy with the vibrating sword, right?
I believe that's who it was.
Yeah, Vice Wondersaw.
No, it wasn't Vice Wondersaw. It was the guy in the major town, and I talked to him first about becoming a knight.
Fuck.
That was one of the
Kusos.
That was one of the Kuso sons.
Yeah, I know what he's talking about. I just can't remember the fucker's name.
Yeah. And I didn't sign it because I didn't want to have my soul attached to a rock eternally.
Yeah.
I thought that the rock thing was becoming.
So what do you want to do?
Not.
So what was where did we retreat back to in the conversation?
You were going to explain where to sell the goods. So he has just told you, each noble camp is its own, each army is its own camp, right? They don't have a centralized organized force. And you can see that. You're not a warrior. Agrim picks up on this immediately, and probably Haig to some minor extent does as well. He's never had a surface army. But rather than form one long battle line with palisades and forts and a supply system, it looks like there's like 9 separate groups that each has their own patrols, has their own markets, has their own layouts. There's banners everywhere. It's disorganized chaos. It looks like a bunch of weekend warriors camping out on the front lines.
Well,
This is screaming to me very much like a Stormlight Chronicles.
Yes, this is Stormlight Archives, 100%. That's exactly where you're at. Yeah,
they're trying to minimize their losses. They're just trying to do their 40 days and be done with it. That's what it sounds like.
Okay.
Look, I've been hinting that this war has been going on for 80 years for a reason, and it's because the human army is not competent.
Look, they're just trying to prop up, I don't know, whatever this world's equivalent of Raytheon is. It's fine.
They're competent enough to not get completely destroyed.
Look, those ballistic cruise fireballs will not build themselves.
Yeah, so what do you want to tell him?
Until they will, then we're all fucked.
All right.
You saying sell your stuff at my market first, pay me a little price to pass through my lands.
So I'll say to him, well, I'll agree to the taxation that we will pass through. However, we will sell what we lack in your lands. You can make an offer on anything first.
I'll take persuasion or intimidation.
That's interesting.
I'll tell you what, if you do intimidation, you might be looking at some romance options here.
Well, I was going to say,
I was thinking intimidation was the way I wanted to go here.
Well,
like a little bit of the sword shows up, a little bit of floof comes out of the flames.
This will be a dangerous one to fail, though.
I was going to say, man, I wish they still did the like intimidation was a strength thing, not a fucking charisma thing.
I'll tell you what, Arthur, I will.
Yeah.
I'll use my inspiration on this one.
Wow. Okay. Squeak, squeak. It's gone now.
Squeak, squeak. It's gone.
Yeah. This is a roll you don't want to fail, so you got to put it all in. No, Agrim. No. Bad. 24.
Nice.
Some of the knights cough, and their horses take a step back, and he looks suitably impressed, like, very well. However, I must insist that you dine with me tonight at my private dining tent. I find few merchants with your level of backbone.
Oh God, Arthur, you're setting me up for this shit.
Yeah.
Balls of steel.
Okay, so I'll say to him, I'll put the sword back into the sheath, because I lifted it up a little bit, just to emphasize, and I'll put my hands on my hip and I'll say, well, if it's backbone you want, I've got plenty of that I can show you.
This is a man who writes anime dialogue right here. Anime Eroshi dialogue. God.
Even the sword in a New York accent was like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, whoa, hey, whoa. We don't do that kind of stuff back at the Great Tree, huh? Whoa.
Yeah. Okay, well I'm into that. That's good.
Somebody's gonna get sheathed tonight. Am I right, boys? Yeah, that's right. No one else can hear me, huh? Forget about it.
Something, street meat, something.
Street meat?
Now this is high quality lord meat that we're talking about here. So,
Gilead expensive taste. We've seen it before.
We'll find out more when we return from the break in about 8 minutes for the second half.
The incubus in the other plane is like, oh.
Yeah, it was like, damn, that's my girlfriend. Stick around.
Boyfriend / girlfriend.